Ready? G'day Pels fans and welcome to Flock. I'm your host, Lyle Swithenbank, at Lyle Swithenbank on Twitter, and it is episode 15, or the first episode of the season 25-26. The new calendar year is here, well, for NBA-wise, and I could not be more excited to be back. Gosh, it feels like the longest break from when we finished back in April. I think it was April, or maybe it was March. April, I think. And now we're in July. And Summer League is in full swing. We've already seen the California Classic. The Salt Lake Summer League has concluded as well. And now we're in the main event, Las Vegas, where the Pelicans have kicked off their campaign with a loss against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Disappointing, to say the least. Lots to unpack from that. We're going to have a chat about that today. Before we get started, make sure that you're following us on YouTube. Brand new content. We're doing it on video. And gosh, it's a little bit of an adjustment looking at yourself while you're also just talking Pels. So if you want to jump on, like and subscribe, as well as subscribe on your podcast app, Spotify, Amazon Prime, Apple, wherever you can get us, we are there, live and free. So let's get into it. The Summer League. Well, the Pelicans kicked it off at a dastardly 3:30 a.m. my time. It was 2:30 on Thursday afternoon. Las Vegas looked like a beautiful day out there, nice and hot as it normally is out there. But, gosh, plenty to unpack. It's been a bit of a tumultuous off-season. We've had a bit of movement. Of course, it all started with Joe Dumars being brought in for David Griffin. The David Griffin era is over. Gosh, what a change. 6 years of Zion and this sort of attempt at success, injury marred, and that era now ends, and the live, laugh, love signs come down, and now I see in the training session, on the training facility, is one goal. And I'm assuming that goal is to win, and I hope it is. Joe Dumars takes the reins, brought in Troy Weaver. We see Swin Cash leave. We see, gosh, a big clearinghouse in the front office. And all of a sudden, it's a completely new look outfit. And that then started into the team. So we saw CJ McCollum shipped out to the Wizards. We saw Kelly Olynyk headed that way as well. Guys not re-signed, options not picked up. Rumblings of movement all over. And then the fateful draft day, we had pick 7, of course, after we played so badly and somehow still dropped in the draft. Managed to get Jeremiah Fears, the point guard out of Oklahoma, who was very, very talented, mind you. And we're going to talk about him a little bit when we get to Summer League. We also traded back in the Poison Chalice, I suppose it is, trading next year's 2026 pick, which was also a swap with the Milwaukee Bucks, who are also predicted to be pretty bad, for Derek Queen at pick 13. We also picked Micah Peavy up at pick 40. And, some young guys. Look, a great refresh. Some Joe Dumars, Troy Weaver guys, which, I mean, all right, you've got to put your stamp on it. So then we've got to show out. A lot of controversy about this Derek Queen pick. I think if we had him just outright at 13 and hadn't had to trade back in, well, perhaps there's less scrutiny. For me, as you know, I don't follow the college basketball, so I don't have an opinion. I can only see what I can see on the court. And we're going to talk a little bit about that in a minute. The other notable off-season announcement is the huge contract extension for Herb Jones. Hot off the press this afternoon, and he extends for another 3 years, taking his contract right through to the end of the 2030 season, and that is set up. So he's currently got his 2 years to run. This year, $13.9 million. Next year, $14.9. And then the big 3 year, extension comes in, $20.9 million, which is 140% of that 14.9. Big jump, great pay rise, and this is according to the stats by Bobby Marks. 28-29 season, he's on $22.5 million, and 29-30 on $24.2 million. Well deserved for not on Herb. You know, he's our defensive weapon, and we suffered without him this year. He had that damaged shoulder, and he just wasn't himself, and then obviously shut down for the rest of the season. And gosh, we got punished without our main defender and spiritual leader. It was dire last year, wasn't it? And you could see, I think, a lot of the engagement dropped off, and it was very difficult to podcast. I tell you what, I think my last one was back in January, perhaps, before I actually came, or maybe it was before I even came to the States. But it feels like forever ago now. But we turn the page, we move on, and congratulations to Herb. He's back, healthy, firing. From all reports, Trey Murphy's not far off as well. DeJounte Murray recovering from that Achilles. He is also on the mend. Probably January return, says all the rumblings around the traps. It's usually a 12-month injury with those Achilles, and you want to make sure it's completely right before he comes back and, he has to contribute. But what we did was draft the heir apparent, I guess, Jeremiah Fears, pick 7, the 6'3" point guard out of Oklahoma. He looked really good today. Probably started a bit faster than a lot of the other guys on the team. He was definitely the bright spark early. Walked straight into a 3, which apparently was a weakness of his coming into the league. But there was that confidence. And what I really, really liked about him is that he's so fast and he has that ability to change pace. I think we've got to take everything we see in this with a grain of salt, right? Summer League, this is the first game. We had 3 days of training camp where the young guys came together. You know, Yves Messi is the captain for all intents and purposes. You know, is the only veteran, a second-year guy. So you really need to take these things with a grain of salt. Now, what I did like was the leadership that Jeremiah showed. There was, on the broadcast, he was mic'd up, and that they were listening there. He's calling out the plays. He's talking to these guys. He's bringing them into huddles, when fouls were called and free throws are going to be shot. And that's what you want from a young leader and a point guard. You want a general. You want a floor general on the court. And this is what he was doing. Now, stats aside, and we'll get to the box score in a bit, but overall, I thought his handle looked really good. I thought he looked really quick, and I thought he was super aggressive. There was a take foul that he had actually caused the steal, and he was off to the races and got fouled at the midcourt, and then went to throw a tomahawk down the other end, and it rimmed out. But gosh, if he's got that sort of athleticism, man, oh man, that's going to be fun to watch when he gets out in the open court. Because you also got to remember, he's playing with other guys that are auditioning for jobs. Yeah, he has a guaranteed contract. He knows that he gets to go to work and play for the Pelicans this year. Whether he plays, whether he goes to G League, whatever happens. He has a guaranteed contract with the Pelicans. The difficulty is that his teammates, not all of them do. And Summer League is notorious for guys that are going out to audition. So you're going to get guys on looking for two-way deals or guys that have non-guaranteed contracts trying to show out as well. And what I like from Jeremiah is he took control of the game from the beginning. This guy's like 18 and a half, maybe 19. And he started running the show. One of the first plays, drives to the paint, lob to Messi. Eve, unfortunately fumbled it a little bit, got fouled, but the pass was a little bit over his head as well, so it's not all his fault. But if he's getting to the basket and drawing that attention and breaking down defenses by being able to get to the basket, we haven't had much of that as a secondary sort of player behind Zion. I think Zion can do it, Trey to a bit, but, as his handle develops. But not like that, not at that speed. I also really liked the little fadeaway two that he did baseline I think it was in the last quarter. And when you're getting those different layers of scoring and change of pace and ability to break down defenders, that's what excites me because there's plenty of room to grow. And I don't recall a player that we've had previously that can do that to the degree that Jeremiah was doing. So I'm really excited about that. And, I genuinely hope that Zero Fears decides to have a long and healthy career at the Pelicans because he looked really, really good. And I can't fault that. Of course, turnovers. And when we get the box score, turnovers. That's what killed us in the end. We lost because of turnovers and our inability to take care of the ball. But it's Summer League. You had 5 training sessions. Some other teams have had a bit of time in the other previous summer leagues to get to know one another. And you're also playing against the Minnesota Timberwolves team that was less rookies and more second-year players, along with that massive center from France that they've drafted who had 6 blocks, who looked absolutely phenomenal and unstoppable and a bit Jackson Hayes-esque, perhaps. So maybe Summer League is just, a flash in a pan. I don't know, but we'll see. The other high-profile rookie that played today was Derek Queen. Look, we all know how his first half went. His first half was atrocious. There's been a lot of chatter on the internet about, oh gosh, he's a bust, he's no good, he can't do this. Even the other players on the other side were getting into him. And he said that in the post game that these guys were saying, you're no good anyway. And that sort of got him going. I think Coach Corey Brewer got into him. The other players, come on, be you. You're a good player and lock in. In the first quarter, he was trying to do too much. He was dribbling the ball at about shoulder height. He was trying to go off the dribble. He was trying to force it. And that, for all intents and purposes, isn't what he was drafted to do. He's a big man who can pass, who can become an offensive hub. That's what they're all predicting that he can do. Forcing it into isolations and trying to beat, seasoned defenders and professional basketballers, that's not going to help you succeed. And I genuinely think in the second half he got way better. He had, double-double, and again, 7 turnovers, but looked much more comfortable in the second half. And I think a lot of it with these guys, there's a lot of pressure on him. They've traded a potential, the rhetoric is that we've traded a potential top 5 pick for this guy next year. You've just cashed in on that pick now, is how you have to think about it. And we also need to now separate, okay, well, that pick's gone. We have Derek Queen. We need the best from him. That's the reality. So we can harp on about it, and he's always going to have that stigma now. Oh, well, you shouldn't have traded for that. And whoever goes on to be that pick, no doubt will be the second coming of Michael Jordan. I'm sure that's what's going to happen now. And of course, that's just the Pelicans for you. But I think Derek Queen's going to be a pretty solid player. He looked good. He's got great skills. For a big man, there was a little through the legs step back into a 3, which surprised me. That was awesome. He has the ability to attack. He got a heap of defensive rebounds, a couple of offensive ones. And I think he was a bit stiff at times not to get called for fouls. But, you live and die by the whistle as well. The umpires are learning as well in Summer League. So I was impressed in the second half. The first half, they made him look a bit silly, and I think they put extra pressure on him in terms of being the defenders, put extra pressure on him to make him make plays. And that's never going to be conducive with winning or success for him. He's a big man who also needs guard play, good guard play, to get him in a position to be successful. And also, it was the first game of Summer League. So what do we expect? I think you're looking at a guy who could be anything. He looks good size. I think fitness is going to have to be something he works on really hard. You could see he was getting a bit gassed. But you got to blow the cobwebs out, and better in Summer League than, in the season. So that's going to be a big thing. Getting up and back, getting the rust out, and getting going. I can say he's probably going to have a really good game. Well, I hope in the next game against the Lakers, which we've got on Sunday morning, Saturday night, prime time. Gosh, Bronny James and the crew from Los Angeles. So let's go to the box score. Let's go and just have a look at what happened. Let's try to have a look at the numbers and unpack it, right? So we ended up losing 98-91. We came close in the end, got back to within 5. Guys like Rob Dillingham and some of their more experienced players on the Timberwolves sort of closed it out, which is tough, right? That Shannon Jr. as well looks like he's got something about him. He had a really good dunk at the end and pretty much closed us out. But it is what it is. So let's go to the box score. Our starters: Peavy, Queen, Misi, Reeves, Antonio Reeves, who was waived but still playing for us. So hopefully he just comes back and we get him back on the squad. He had a guarantee date for his contract another year, so they waived him and so they didn't have to pay him basically. Jeremiah Fears as well started. So Peavy had 11, 7, 2 steals, 5 of 9 shooting, 1 of 2 from 3, and he had 2 turnovers. It was a minus 20, which is difficult in summer league, right? Because I don't know if anyone is actually good. In our whole team, we had a few of the bench guys were pluses, but the rest, all of our starters were in the minus and the plus and minus and the advanced stats. I really enjoyed what Peavy did. I thought he was a good defender. I thought he played hard. He looked springy as well. There was a lot of offensive type jumps that he made looking for those putbacks. The timing was off at different points. But he did a bit of everything. Defended, played hard. He's the sort of guy that you can see contributing straight away, and a Willie Green type guy, right? Willie Green's still here despite everyone else going. He's going to love a 5-year player, or 4 or 5 year player out of college, because that's a Willie Green type guy, tenacious defender and can shoot the 3 a little bit. That's going to have to be something he can do consistently. He's going to have to shoot the 3 at this level. But I like what he did. A little bit of everything. Efficient, didn't overshoot it, took 9 shots. I can't really blame him. I thought he had a good game, to be fair. I thought he was good. Derek Queen started at power forward. He had 13 and 10, 3 assists, 5 of 9 as well shooting. Hit his 1 3, 2 of 4 free throw shooting. I think 2 of them he just looked gassed. I think he got hacked and he was blowing pretty hard. So that's just going to come with time. 7 turnovers, only a minus 6. To be fair to him, at the end of the game, he was sort of keeping us in it by being aggressive and attacking. And I think the numbers are skewed a little bit towards the first half, where he just couldn't get it going. He had the chair pulled on him a couple of times. He had, he travelled because he was doing his little hop step thing that he does. It's just about working out where he fits in the NBA, taking his time, and getting comfortable, and it'll come. I have no qualms about that. I think he's going to be a very good player for us as well. Eve Misi, 13 and 13. He had 2 steals, 5 of 14. He was the offensive focal point in the first quarter, where they were trying to give him everything. He lived at the free throw line in that first quarter. He had 9 free throw attempts, made 3 of them, which is not ideal for Big Eve. He looks strong. They've all said that he's come back in, like the reporting has said that he's come back in looking stronger and bigger. He noticeably did. He looked less kid-like and more like he'd been living in the gym. Did a little bit of everything. He definitely got out-muscled by the French kid, Beringer, who ended up with 6 blocks, looked fantastic. But Eve had a couple of little up and unders and ball fakes and spins in the post. His post moves are starting to develop. It's just repetition for Eve. We know he's raw. I think he's going to have another game. I think, but they won't shut him down yet. But I thought he was solid. I thought he was good. He only played 25 minutes. that's enough for me. If you shut him down now, I wouldn't be mad. If you let him have one more run, also not mad. So I like what I saw. I think he's going to be solid. And also, it's really hard to put this raw centre onto this team when he relied so heavily on his teammates to get him involved at the NBA level. And his quality when he was getting it, big men are going to suffer in summer league because of guard players, the reality of it. And when you've got a high turnover team, you're not really going to be put in the position to be successful. There were a couple of lobs and things that I thought he could probably finish a bit better, and making sure he really gobbles in those rebounds when they're there for him. But otherwise, I thought he was solid. And again, good hit out for the first Summer League game. Antonio Reeves, 10 points and 1 rebound. 5 of 9 shooting, missed his threes. He was fine. Wasn't as aggressive as he was towards the end of last year, but I think he was just playing his role, trying to space out and the things like that. Jeremiah Fears, 26 minutes. He had 14 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 4 of 12 shooting, 1 of 4 from 3, 5 of 6 from the line, and 7 turnovers. Now, in the first quarter, he had a couple, maybe 2 or 3 in the first quarter that were just absolute clangers. And you can't help that. There was an offensive foul that he got called for. That was the guy hitting himself in the nose. So I don't know how that counts, but you still get pinged for it. Another thing that we saw was a look away pass to Peavy, who was looking at Fears, but not looking at the ball. He just threw it out of bounds. That's all going to come with time. What I did like is that Jeremiah had absolutely no hesitation at trying to make a hard pass, a lob, or find his open teammates. And that, to me, is really impressive. And it's those intangibles that you can't really teach. Either have it or you don't. And you've also got to have the confidence to try that stuff, knowing that you have the skill to do it. So I think as the guys play a little bit more and click, we're going to see some really, really impressive stuff from Jeremiah. And I can't really fault him. Just turnovers are turnovers, whatever. He's a young guy. I'd like to see what his potential assists were, because we had 2 proper assists, but, overall we had, for the whole game, 13 assists. So what are you going to do? No one really showed out. Lester, he had 20 points off the bench. He was massive. Hit a couple of big threes. He's our two-way guy. He's been retained. 2 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, 7 of 12, 5 of 8 from 3, and he just got cooking in that second half. He looked fantastic. Definitely carried us. He was +3. 3 turnovers, but had a lot of the ball in the last in the second half. So you live and die by it, right? And he was probably our bright spark. Trey Alexander had 2 points. Keon Brooks 3. Hunter Dickerson, who is the big center that we've picked up as well as on a 2-way, and we've got big Hunter as well, who had 4 rebounds, and that was it. Honestly, I thought the guys were solid. I thought there's plenty of room for improvement. Corey Brewer seemed pretty happy about it at the end, impressed with the guys, but disappointed about the turnovers. And that's completely understandable, right? You don't go out. You can't win games if you turn the ball over. That's the long and the short of it. And you've also got to step back and recognize, well, gosh, it's pretty difficult to get a young team to gel and to mesh from guys all over in 3 days. That's all they've had. So now they've got the opportunity to go away. They've got an extra couple of days to sit down, go through film. You finish that game at, early afternoon. You probably got that evening. You got a day, and you don't play again until Saturday night. It's okay. You've got that time to digest the first game. You've got the nerves out. You know what it's going to be like, and you can reset. And so, what I want to see out of the next game is just controlling the pace, playing our own game, and making sure that we don't get overwhelmed by the moment. I think it's so difficult when you've got these guys going, holy jeepers, I now get to be, I'm now an NBA player. And I can guarantee there's that factor. You walk out on the course, Jeremiah talked about that. The first game, wow. You're an NBA player. It's a pretty cool thing to be able to say. And I can guarantee that there's some nerves and there's some, pressure on yourself to succeed at this. So, I think the next game, they settle in and we'll be all right. So I'm excited about that. So, overall, Summer League game, disappointing to lose. Plenty to take away from it, plenty to unpack. I thought the guys were solid. And I think we moved in the right direction. I think we finished stronger than we started, which is all I can ask. If you're going to continue to go out there and learn and develop and try different things, that's fine by me. So really excited about the young guys and what that looks like. In terms of the actual league team, it's still a bit of a work in progress, I think. I don't know whether or not there's another move to come. We're very guard heavy at the moment. But we shall see. The main sort of trade target that everyone's been about has just been locked down for another 3 years in Herb Jones. So they can all leave us alone now and just let us enjoy Herb for another 5 years and then retire him as a Pelican when he's ready at the age of 43 and he's the league record holder in blocks, steals, and I don't know, intangibles. I don't know if they even measure that. But gosh, I tell you what, it's great to be back. It's been fun. So, I think I'm going to leave it at that. We'll come back after the Lakers game. If you can do us a favor, please like and subscribe the video. Go onto your podcast app and follow us along there. And if you want to give us a 5-star rating, that would be much appreciated. It helps us grow, helps us keep kicking goals and delivering Pelicans content. And golly gosh, it's 2025-26 season. It's underway. The Pels are back. This has been Flock. I'm your host, Lyle Swithenbank, at Lyle Swithenbank on Twitter. Stay safe, and of course, bye for now.